Donald Trump's blue screen of death. Younger people, you might not be familiar with this, but the blue screen of death was a real thing. It would happen to your computer using a Microsoft operating system. Yes, for a while, Microsoft was killing it. Everybody had PCs here, there, and everywhere, and then they just got lazy. And you'd get this blue screen of death, meaning that anything that you were doing or working on was lost, and you had to reboot your computer. Trump's blue screen of death. Trump needs to reboot the computer. He really needs to, quite frankly, he needs to reboot his presidency. And I know I'm going to get flack from people out there. I do all the time. Oh, you got Trump derangement syndrome. No, I don't. Okay. You want to go back to when he first came in office and he's bringing in Elon Musk and he's doing all of these great things and behind him 110%. We're not there anymore by any stretch of the imagination. He has gotten some really, really bad advice. And this is the problem. This is his problem, quite frankly, is when you surround yourself with yes men. Well, I got to have loyalty. Everybody's got to be loyal. Loyalty. A true friend, not an acquaintance, someone who's actually loyal to you will tell you, quite frankly, when you're screwing up. And it doesn't look like he has any of those people around him. Again, he's got his folks out there that are constantly doing purges of people that are there and are going to go against his beliefs. It's nonsensical at this point in time. My modus operandi, people, is it's not political. I'm not running for office. I'm not a member of any party. I want what's best for the country. I want what's best for my kids and, God willing, someday my grandkids, and the same is for you. And Trump needs to reboot his presidency as soon as possible. I'm going to go through various different things. Okay. Like I said, people out there that get upset when you go against their dear leader. I don't know what to tell you. I bring receipts to every single argument that I present here on the program. And if you want to challenge me, challenge me. The only, I don't get any, there's no challenge, quite frankly. The people that get angry at the positions that I have here, they're getting angry because I'm going against their guy. They can't refute anything that I have said here on the program because you can't. I'm bringing you numbers. I'm bringing you facts. Okay, let's go through, shall we? Basically, every single labor market indicator right now is rolling over. Every single one. Manufacturing employment index is at the lowest we've seen in 10 years. Manufacturing. Again, we were told all these factories are going to come back here to the United States because of tariffs. They're not. Tariffs aren't high enough. They're not. There's still a lot of uncertainty out there. And for all of these businesses to come back here to the United States, they would have to raise their tariffs much, much higher. And again, that would also hit businesses that couldn't move them back here to the United States because we don't have the labor force to handle what they need to do. It's an absolute disaster. The services employment index is at its third lowest level in the past 10 years, excluding the pandemic. Job openings index down 35% from its peak. And we're back to pretty much pre-pandemic levels. But again, that's not that big of a deal. Again, maybe people taking down some postings online. Student loan delinquencies are going through the roof. And what's interesting about this number as well is the highest percentage of student loan delinquencies is bloody my generation. Generation X. Yeah. People that grew up on, The Breakfast Club and Pretty in Pink and Red Dawn and all that stuff. How do you still have student loans? Anyway, yeah. That's going through the roof. U.S. household debt jumped by 185 billion in the second quarter. It's at a record 18.39 trillion. That's up $592 billion over the past 12 months. Mortgage debt rose $131 billion to a record 12.94 trillion. Credit card debt up 27 billion to 1.21 trillion. Student and auto loans climb 7 billion and go on down the list. Stories coming out right now at Trump's policies and how they are hitting certain classes here. Some are calling it the redneck recession. That's, again, those are elites that make those types of statements. Quite frankly, it's kind of off-putting. If you ask me, I don't like it, but that's what they're calling it. Again, manufacturing recession, construction recession, transportation and distribution recession, wholesaling recession, retail almost in a recession. That's what? Almost a third of the economy? The funny thing is that she got an email yesterday. Somebody pointed out, an economist, that actually I have debated this guy before on air, and he and I are actually agreeing on what's taking place in the country. Mark Zandi from Moody's, he's a nice enough guy, but he's wrong often. And my point is that Donald Trump is actually bringing together right-wing economists, guys like myself, and left-wing economists. Bringing us together. Who would have thunk it? He's bringing peace to the world. He's bringing peace between left and right-wing economists based upon what he's doing. Again, more. I can go through a litany of more, and I've been doing it some time here on the program. Yet, what are we hearing? What are we hearing from the president of the United States? I don't know if he's just getting really bad information from his handlers. I don't know. It's sad to say that he is really that disconnected from what's actually going on in this country. He, keeps going out and making statements and talking about we're the hottest country. We're the hottest country in the world. And yeah, we've got a lot of really great things that are going on. Undeniable when it comes to innovation, when it comes to tech, when it comes to AI, all of these things. There's no doubt about that. That's fantastic. That's great. But everything is not awesome. That is one part of the economy. That's one part of the economy. It's not the economy as a whole. And he keeps singing this song. I keep thinking about that Lego song there, Everything is Awesome, from the Lego movie. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when we're living our dream. Everything is better when we stick together, side by side. You and I gonna win forever. Let's party forever. We're the same. I'm like you. You're like me. We're all working in harmony. And it goes on and on and on and on. And again, it's a nonsensical song from the Lego movie. And it's basically what we're hearing again and again and again. Everything is awesome. Everything is great. We're the hottest country in the world. Well, Mr. President, and again, I want him to do well. His poll numbers are, I just took a look at some of these polls. I mean, they're not good. Not good at all. Again, overall views on Trump's presidency, percentage of approve and disapprove. Holy crap. Back in April, it was a 44% approval, 51% disapproval. It's now 38-58. Again, on inflation, 31% approve, 63% disapprove. Immigration, even on immigration. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. Now only 41% approve. It was 50%. On jobs, it was 38. It's now 37. Again, tariffs on 31%. You can go across the board. America's views on Epstein And Trump, 63% think that the administration is hiding information. 59% think a special prosecutor needs to investigate. 67% think that Trump was once good friends with Epstein. 71% want that list of clients. I can go on. These numbers are not awesome by any stretch of the imagination. And we're going to get more, unfortunately, more dog and pony shows and being gaslit. And today's going to be another example. Announcement this morning. I think he's holding something at 4:30. The news went out yesterday. Big meeting, 4:30 today, big announcement. Apple is now going to invest $600 billion in the United States. That's your announcement. It was 500. They've upped it to $600 billion. And he's going to hold some sort of press conference at 4:30 this afternoon. Let me raise my hand here. Has Apple spent a dime yet? They originally said 500 billion. Have they spent a dime yet? You see, the thing is that Trump will be long gone and Apple's still going to be around. Trump will be long gone and Apple is still going to be around. Companies will say they're going to do this. They say they're going to do that, whatever it may be. They didn't sign any binding contract. And it's, again, I was embarrassed. I don't know if he's, like I said, I don't know if he's being fed bad information, but you go back and you watch that interview he did on CNBC yesterday. It was embarrassing. He thinks that these numbers that these countries are throwing out there, he actually thinks they're going to cut him a check. And I'm going to be able to spend it any way I want. Any way I want. They're going to write me a check and spend it any way I want. Dude, no, you're not. It's not going to happen. He actually equated it as a signing bonus for a professional athlete. And I quote, if you look at Japan, this is Trump, we're taking in $550 billion, and that's like a signing bonus that a basketball player would get. European Union, they brought down their tariffs, so they paid $600 billion, and because of that, I reduced their tariffs from 30 down to 15. They gave me $600 billion, and that's a gift. They gave us $600 billion that we can invest in anything we want. Then they're going to also buy $750 billion worth of our energy. Okay, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. All of you sycophants out there, I'm just telling you right now, that's not going to happen. The European Union did not cut Donald that gave him $600 billion. Where is it? Where is it? Where's the six? Is it checks in the mail? Is what you're saying? Checks in the mail. You think they would have? And rightfully so. What are they going to do? The European Union is going to all of a sudden start calling up every member country and saying, "Well, we gotta send Donald Trump $600 billion so he can spend it on anything that he wants." You understand how ridiculous that is? That's not going to happen. And that Japan, the $550 billion, no, it's a loan. It is a loan, for crying out. Again, I don't know if he doesn't know. I don't know if his people are telling him something. I don't know if Lutnick is in his ear feeding him a load of bunk. But, basically, all of this stuff is basically, he's like showing a lot of activity, but not quite frankly getting anything done. It reminded me when I was, there was a summer before, was it? Yeah, no, it was a summer before my sophomore year in college. And my dad helped me actually get a job, one of the summer jobs, do multiple jobs over the course of the summer. But I think this one was, yeah. But anyway, it was working for his school district. My dad was a school teacher. And we had over the summer, he had, college kids, working with some of the older workers there, painting overhangs and going around and painting playground equipment in the various different elementary schools in his district. And I remember getting, we got spoken to by some of the superiors. We were just working a little bit too quickly. And they were trying to show us, you got to look busy. Your boss is going around. You got to look busy. And this is how you look busy without actually doing anything. Well, that's a lot of what we have going on here. Trump, when he ran on, various different ideas, he actually talked about a 10% tariff here for the United States. That's what he talked about. Now, who knows what it's going to end up when all is said and done. Then he started talking about replacing the income tax with tariffs. Okay, that's basically having a consumption tax, if you actually think about it. And that's something, again, remember John Linder put that forward. It was talked about in circles for a period of time. They call it the fair tax, where you're paying at the point of sale, a consumption tax, but you have to eliminate the income tax if you're going to do that. The tariff revenues are not enough to do away with the income tax, not even close. It's just, quite frankly, a lot of chaos. It's showing a lot of activity. Yeah, going to be great for lobbyists, great for having CEOs and executives show up at your door. And you can, do today, like today's Apple announcement. Tim Cook will probably be there. Oh, look at me. I got a press conference. I just got another $100 billion. Right. It's actually an interesting piece about this today, actually written by Holman Jenkins in the Wall Street Journal. Said if he wanted a show, he also wanted a line outside his White House door of CEOs and lobbyists and foreign leaders pleading for relief. Net result, a meaningful increase in the swamp. This is activity for activity's sake. If the economy stays good, Mr. Trump will claim credit. Never mind that a good economy will have been good despite his trade turmoil. If it falters, get ready for some more acts like firing the government's chief labor market statistician, followed by a new Trump MC drama where Democrats reclaim the House and fire up the impeachment machinery. And he talks about, it's interesting, our world, and it's just our fault, quite frankly, just the long list of lousy presidents that we've had. I mean, the bad choices that we have made over the past 40 years. Again, Clinton got some stuff done, but again, failed on just simple things like, air traffic reform. Again, it's still dealing with the problems that he supposedly tried to fix when he was president. We still have the same technology then as we have today, and the problems are much worse. George W. Bush, forget it. Again, it's too busy. Too busy. You're going to make every country out there singing Britney Spears and flying the American flag and eating hot dogs. Right, George. Sure, how'd that work out? Could have reformed entitlements, could have pushed towards that. Didn't do that. Obamacare. What a disaster that is. Absolute joke. And again, we can go on. Trump, Biden, things that they're doing that are not fixing anything. Showing, a lot of activity and everything like that, but not getting to the root of the problem. And this is why I talk about the need for him to have that reset. Reset the presidency. You want to know why Elon Musk left, why they had that falling out. Elon Musk wanted to get things done. Okay? He saw through the BS. Isn't it interesting as well? Wasn't he supposed to doge the Pentagon? Yeah. You know what happened? They told him, no, we're not going to allow you to do that. He probably got pissed off, got into an argument, got to see these people's true colors. And, Trump made a calculated decision. I'm not going to go with Musk. I'm going to go with these people that have been here. That's the reality, people. I'm sorry. He was a positive force in getting things done. And again, got rid of him. Again, I'll go back to immigration as well. I mean, again, this was one that he was doing so well at. And I did a podcast on it yesterday. I hope he's starting to see the forest for the trees and what's going on. But come on. I mean, you throw a Purdue student into a detention facility who had a visa, who walked out of a hearing to extend her visa. This poor girl lives in Scarsdale, New York. Yeah, the same Scarsdale, nice area, Westchester, Steely Dan's song, Hey 19, we're going back to Scarsdale. Anyway, her mom's a priest, does outreach. How does this happen? How does this make us look around the globe? Because it makes the papers. It gets out there. I don't know if you happen to take a look or happen to be listening to some of the earnings calls from an industry that's a big industry in our country, travel and leisure. I don't care if it's the airlines. I don't care if it's a hotel companies. Yeah. We're not getting the traffic from Canada, Mexico, and Europe. Gee, I wonder why. I mean, this is our brand, people. And again, anybody that's listening to this, I know we got listeners from all over the world. You still come here, okay? You're going to be treated well, okay? You are. It is what it is. Your media will hype stuff up also. But this is not a good look. It's not a good look, and it has to change. And the thing that Donald Trump could count on is the very, 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 very short memory of the American people. Okay? He's got to come to the understanding that his presidency right now is basically a blue screen of death. Deal with it. Okay. Like I had to, like everybody else had to use a computer. You're working on a project. You didn't save it or it wasn't on autosave. And all of a sudden, whoop, it's gone. It's gone. Yep. You get angry. You want to throw the computer. You get all pissed off, but nothing you can do about it. Okay. It's gone. Hit the reset button. Restart. And you know what? Past several months, it's going to be forgotten. Deal with the issues at hand. Deal with the housing crisis. There's a myriad of things that you can do that will make people very, very happy. What you're doing is not working outside of your MAGA sycophants. Watchdog on wallstreet.com.